going to begin our Symposium 2016, our first symposium of the Students Promise Local Achievement Initiative. Give yourselves a hand. When the graphic designer sent this over to me, and I didn't give them any instructions, I just pretty much had a basic program, agenda, times, who's speaking, our date. There's a little picture on the back. Order of program. There's a logo. I sent them a Word document, just some simple information, and this is what came back. And when I first saw it, I was like, it's not quite exactly what I had in mind. Then I looked at it again, and I said, this is exactly what this program needed to look like today. Because Ms. Hubbard, in her final observation, she saw that the graphic designer literally made this look like a notebook that had been kind of crumpled up. If you notice some of the writing, does it look like it was done on a typewriter or something? What do you think about the writing, some of the text? Then look at the other side where the creed is, which everyone in this room knows that we're going to say, and before we leave here, correct? And some of the writing, can you see all the words that look kind of faded? What I saw when I pulled this document up on my computer at home, what I saw was an imperfect program, not necessarily something that if I said I'm having a symposium with a lot of important students and a lot of important people, I probably would have had some fancy text and some fancy fonts, and I might have done some things a little different. But what this says to me, and what I wanted to start our celebration this morning with, by suggesting that this program and how it was designed, to me, represents us in this room. As students of promise, as teachers, as administrators, as school districts, as elected officials, as community partners, as business communities, everything that makes Students of Promise possible, faith community, and it all came together in its own way. But it came together in a way that it probably could use some enhancement. And in essence, that's what we're trying to do. When you strip it all down, we're just trying to enhance the lives, academically, socially, and emotionally of all of our students, so we can see them across the stage and beyond, high school and beyond. And what this says to me, it doesn't necessarily matter how you started. It doesn't matter if you felt at some point like a crumpled up piece of paper. It doesn't matter if sometimes you were leaning, as the logo is, and not straight up. It doesn't matter if sometimes you're like a painting on the wall that is not at a perfect 90-degree angle, and it's kind of, if you need some help to straighten out. In essence, anybody follow where I'm going here? That's what Students of Promise is, and that's what we're attempting to do.
Dr. Talisa L. Dixon has dedicated her professional career to helping students from every walk of life learn, grow, and achieve to the best of their abilities. She is a widely recognized education leader and imitator who couples numerous academic credentials with extensive real-world educational experience. Dr. Dixon became superintendent of Cleveland Heights University Heights City School District in July 2014. Since taking over as superintendent, Dr. Dixon has launched numerous initiatives and efforts, all designed to better lead district practices with the needs and the expectations of the community. Among her first major steps was leading students, parents, staff, the Board of Education, and community leaders on a year-long process to develop a comprehensive 5-year strategic plan. She began her professional career as an instructor at the University of Akron before becoming an assistant principal with Akron City Schools. Dr. Dixon grew up in Oxford, Mississippi, and she graduated from Oxford High School, after which she attended Mississippi Valley State University in Itta Bena, Mississippi. She received her Bachelor's of Arts degree in sociology.
So, closing the achievement gap. Why is this such an important initiative? The achievement gap continues to widen between students of color and their minority counterparts. We see this more and more often among children of poverty. Many school districts have taken great strides to ensure that schools are equipped with the supports, services like tutors, mentors, and even student buddies, many of which have some great inroads. I believe this CTAG initiative has taken one step further. They have not only placed emphasis on the achievement gap, those outputs, the students' test scores, and your grades that you do the grades that you're performing every year. But they place equally emphasis on this new term that I would like that's coined opportunity gaps. So when you think about what are opportunity gaps? So opportunity gaps have been defined as an unequal or an inequitable distribution of resources and opportunities, those inputs. What are those opportunities that we're providing for our students to get more out of that in-school experience? So the examples of those opportunity gaps could be students from lower income households may not have the financial resources that give students an advantage, or they may have been raised by parents who have not had a college degree or post-secondary opportunity. But anyway, that notion of the opportunity gaps can be closed. So initiatives like the CTAG, Calhoga County has invested their funds to support this initiative and thus close the opportunity gaps. These opportunities that you're going to experience, that many of you experience already, like your college trips, and to visit the South. As she stated, I'm a Southern girl, Oxford, Mississippi, so I love going back home to the South. But those historical trips and those colleges experiences help close that opportunity gap. It also helps you to see the impossible become possible. You walk on a college campus, you learn more about your heritage and those opportunities that other students and other people have had, and how they pave the way for the opportunities that you can make possible for your life. So as I thank you, Mr. Ivory, and to our county officials who have made this opportunity possible for the students in Cleveland Heights, as we affectionately call Tiger Nation, I appreciate all that you've done, all that you continue to do, and thank you so much for including Cleveland Heights University High School District in this wonderful initiative. And the last thing is I looked at the back of your program, and it says, I am important, I am smart, I can achieve. So I would say to you as a superintendent, you are important, you are smart, and you can achieve. Thank you.
Continue applauding County Councilman Anthony Harrison.
Again, good morning to everyone for coming out today to witness the results of our 2016 year-end symposium. I'd like to thank the students for being here this morning, looking very good, very sharp, dapper. Even my guys in their urban gear, looking good too, fellas, ladies. Good morning to our parents, thank you also. Good morning to our staff. And also to a very special good morning, thank you to a woman that's sitting in the back who, even with council support, this program could not go forward without Robin Martin. Robin, stand up. Let's give Robin Martin a round of applause. Robin is the reason that council, once we allocated the funding to do this program, we contacted Bob to work with us to roll this out. She is the reason that we can do what it is that we're doing for you now. If it were not for her family, Children First counselors, for working with us to ensure this, this would have not have happened. And also like to thank the Cleveland Heights Community Center as well for being our gracious host this morning, for allowing us to use their facility to help roll out our excellent results here this morning. I took office in 2014, this office, the County Council. And we're coming to office, I learned of an initiative that my colleagues Pernell Jones and Chantel Brown Pernell Jones was working on. They closed the achievement gap. It was something I knew about back when I was in high school. Unfortunately, it started a couple years after I graduated back in 2004. I'm only 29 years old. But when I was in school, there was a program called the Right to Passage program, so it was very similar. And so I understood the impact and the importance of this program. So immediately taking office, I was on the phone with Robin. I was on the phone with our former county executive, our then council president, working to find a way for Cleveland Heights High School to be a part of this initiative because I understood the impact, the importance that it will make on lives, the change that it can make, the everlasting changes that it can make in your lives. So the things that they are doing with you, the work that you all, and the experiences that you are being exposed to throughout your life will have everlasting effects. Some of you may not believe it now, but trust me, as you go through life, as you journey down that road to being an adult and to having those responsibilities thrown at you, you will look back and you will say, damn, I remember that experience. I remember those things that were taught to me, and how helpful are they now to me in my life.
I am Ms. Stacey Simons, the coordinator at Garfield Heights High School. Although I am new to the Students of Promise program, I am not new to the city of Garfield Heights. I actually graduated from Garfield Heights in 2004, so it's great to actually be back in the community. A little bit of background. Students of Promise has been going on at Garfield for approximately the last 2 years. I've been there about 5 weeks now, so I don't have a whole lot to say about the history of the program since I'm so new. But since I started, I have about 45 students in the last 5 weeks who have come to me interested in the program based on grades, behavior, anything emotional that they've been going through. My goals for the program, since I came so late in the year, it was a little difficult to get anything kind of rolling in the fourth quarter at Garfield Heights. So starting in the summer program and for next year, I really want to focus on getting some peer tutoring in place. I've already started reaching out to some of the honor students at Garfield to get the tutoring started as soon as the fall starts. And then get some programs like Choices or get Mr. Moses into the Garfield Heights program.
Student of Promise been engaged in Maple Heights for the last couple of years now. For the past 3 summers, this will be our 4th summer. We've been engaged in so much in the community of Maple Heights. From our community outreach partners, Dollar Bank, Cleveland Cavs, the Cleveland Browns, and the local barbershops, as well as community service projects that you see on the PowerPoint, Dr. School Parking Lot, and Cleveland Food Bank. Our achievements, which I'm going to read later here, some of the achievements that were achieved for the 3rd quarter. I also wanted Justice Davis. Justice Davis, stand up. Last quarter he had all A's.
He achieved straight A's. Now, every time Kyrie cross somebody over, y'all lose your mind. Give him his due. Straight A's. Stand up, boy.
For the 2nd quarter, Justice was our Pernell Jones Award winner. So great job, we're going to keep it up, and Justice came a long way, he's going to continue to grow. Some of our day-to-day routines are, like everyone said before, is the mentorship, the academics, whatever the kid may need, just a simple hello. What I do, I go around people in the classroom, they see me, my presence, the niggas know what I'm talking about. So, they tend to get on task. But the main thing, we want our kids to be successful, and that's what we're going to fight and continue to do. 4th quarter, Councilman Pernell Jones Jr., Distinguished Student Award, and this is our highest award, goes to Ariana Freeman.
Hi, I'm Ariana's mom. Since my daughter has joined the program, it's been a good opportunity for her. I appreciate the opportunity for her to be in the Promise program. Since she has been in the program, I have noticed how she has changed as a young lady. She came a long way. She has been able to be a part of things that she hasn't before. Since the program, she is more involved in the school programs and involved in her work, and has been giving her all in school. Her behavior has changed and taken a big turnover. And overall, I have noticed the great things in her since the program. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ms. Nettis, and I'm the lineage coordinator for Warrensville Heights High School. Currently, I have 60 babies. not only do I have 60 babies, but I also serve with at least 40 or 50 other students within Warrensville Heights High School. Today I have about 6 students who's going to give you an overview of what we do and different activities that we do at Warrensville Heights High School. Once they're done speaking, I will have a short video that I prepared last year. So don't laugh at my babies because they look totally different now.
I want to speak to you about why I joined Student of Promise. I joined Student of Promise for not only my personal life, but also my academic life. Student of Promise has helped me much, and actually, I don't know what I would do without it. I definitely don't know what I would do without my English coordinator, Ms. Nettis. My grades have improved, definitely, and my attitude has gotten a lot better. Ms. Nettis makes Student of Promise feel like a home away from home. She's definitely very understanding and always there no matter what the problem is. Again, she has made me notice that yes, I am important, I am smart, and I can achieve anything that I put my mind to.
My name is Kalea Brown.
I'm Lady Price.
Today we will be talking about non-targeting.
As non-targeted students, we joined this program to get exposure to various opportunities and experiences.
An example of a non-targeting is a person who has good grades, great behavior, and also participation.
This program is beneficial for becoming very successful.
By being in this program, it allows you to remain non-targeted.
Morning everyone, my name is Ron Hudson. I'm a sophomore at Warrensville High School. I want to speak to you all about the exposure field trips and me as a newcomer. I wasn't really, into a lot of things because I'm into more things inside of school. So this would have just been added on. I play football, I run track, I play basketball, and I'm also involved in student council. So coming to the student departments, talking to Ms. Nettis, it made it a whole different thing for me. It was like basically stepping out of my comfort zone and coming into somewhere where you see students that don't do very well in school or don't pay as much attention, you think they're out of control. But coming to Ms. Nettis and talking, you understand that the people in Students of Promise are promising. You don't have to worry about being off task in class, worrying about your grades. Ms. Nettis and everybody else around you inside of the Students of Promise is going to make sure that you're on track. And with the exposure field trips, myself personally, I love exposure field trips. I want to go to college. I have big aspirations. I want to be successful in life.
My name is Alexis Williams. I've been with Student of Promise for about a year now. I learned so much in this program. Usually we have morning meetings with Mr. Moses. He took Monday meetings. He tells us how people throw their life away and how we need to focus more on our future in school. Since I started going to Monday meetings, Mr. Moses helped me embrace myself and he gave me confidence to talk in front of people.
I'm DeAndre Thomas from Warrensville, and just to touch upon Mr. Moses, he helped us in real life situations, and he had been working with kids in our age for a minute. That's his career, so he helped, and he just be helping me make better decisions in life.
Hi, my name is Samaya, and I attended a field trip bringing to John Dewey. That's a school in Warrensville that ranges from kids about 4 to 8. And at the school, we read Dr. Seuss books for the birthday. And as I read it to the kids, I noticed that they're very engaged in the reading, and they're very excited, and they asked a lot of questions, and they laughed and stuff like that. And I asked a few of my peers what they thought of the experience, and they also thought the same thing that I thought. But one of the responses stood out to me a lot, and this person said that after she read, she was actually excited about, to learn more about the legacy that Dr. Seuss left behind in his literature. And it made me think how exposure is so important. After listening to my speech, I want y'all to know that even though being exposed to doing different things might be really uncomfortable at first, it's very important.
Okay, I would like this young man, I had the privilege of hearing him present. at a board meeting in Warrensville, and it just blew me away. And I want him to say his name again, and he's going to come to you in a very special way.
So again, my name is Elijah Austin, and I'm a senior at Warrensville Heights High School again. And I'm really into poetry. I performed with Grammy Award winning Jay Ivey. I was the Grand Slam winner of One Mic Open. And I'm actually a team member of 2016 Cleveland's National Poetry Slam, National Poetry Team, excuse me. And I don't know what poem I'm going to do, but I'm going to perform a poem for you guys. I guess I can do the one that actually secured my place in the team, and it's called #I've Heard. And it's about, you know how we say Black Lives Matter? The problem with that is many people say it, but they don't mean it. In order to know that Black Lives Matter, you have to know why they matter. And that's what this poem is about. I've heard that there is power in the black folk, the culture of royalty, flesh, dressed in a vibrant brown cloth, crowned crusaders, the children of gemstones. I've heard that the mountains kneel to our elegance and drowned in the sea, birth a tidal wave so fierce to jump the beaches into it. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed up. Birth a tidal wave so fierce to jump the beaches into an hourglass and turn back time so that we can see the caveman fire. I've heard that we turn to soil into pyramids so that we could peek over the horizon and witness our ancestors gather and sing the sun to sleep every night. I've heard that God married Mother Africa and she brewed nectar to nurture her dark-skinned children, and we called it the Nile. I've heard the sound of the marimba, the djembe, the kalimba, the kora play a melody so bold it shook the earth from its skin and picked the stars from the sky like fruit from rich trees. A new day with new promises that beats to the drum of a black woman's chest. I've heard that Black Lives Matter. And I'll be honest, I was not happy to hear this. That my heritage is valued by a hashtag. That the only time black skin is acknowledged is when it's shot dead or shooting jump shots. Because this country is relentless, 72 inches, and if you do the math correctly, you'll know that 72 inches is also 6 feet deep beneath the soil where the sun don't shine. Too many of my people have played this game and have lost, and it's really not fun anymore that they're turning our ghettos into ghost towns. I played freeze tag with phantoms, so I'm sorry that death lurks in our footsteps. That our lives are a roller coaster that only goes down. The skin is too explicit. That's why they cover it in red. This breath is an illegal drug that must cease to exist. I'm sorry that the dancing ruby nesting in our ribcage is held by its retweets. So this is our legacy. I've heard that we were kings and queens, that our bones contain the rhythm of Africa. I've heard that we were a proud people, that my skin don't blister because my black don't crack, so I ain't breaking down. And I heard that we don't swim because our bones too dense, so I guess that I'll drown. Maybe wade in the water just a little while longer so that I could see 25. And I think Maya Angelou said it best when she said, still I rise. Look, there's a caged bird in our chest, and his song walks with the strength of a hurricane. I've heard that we could fly, that we shattered gravity under our will and marched the clouds with pride, flung our skin to the sky to comfort the stars in the cold of night, and swallowed the universe whole in one gulp. I've heard that we are no trending topic. We are no meme. Our history cannot be contained in the month of February. We are not this poem. I've heard that our relevance is eternal, and we have always mattered.
And Mr. Storm is going to come through and briefly just give us a synopsis of what he shared at the county level and to the superintendent, so you as students can see some of the progress and some of the areas where we still need to improve, and then some of our stakeholders can also have an opportunity to see what we've done just in a short amount of time. Mr. Storm.
So we worked with the schools to try to get official data on promotion, passing the grades, graduating. Now, remember, most folks are in the earlier grades, 9th, 10th, some of the 8th. So, the real outcome measure is going to be in the future in 2 to 3 years as you approach 12th grade and graduate. So we'll be working with folks to track, where you are in a couple of years graduating. Overall, 58%, and again, this is the 2014-15 year. It's a baseline measure, so we're looking forward to seeing what's going to be going on in the 2015-16 year based on the success stories and straight A's and things. I think you're going to see a big climb in these data over the next year. So thank you.
We began in 2007. Former Governor Ted Strickland, who I had the privilege of working under his leadership, as also former State Senator C.J. Prentice, created this model. So this is not brand new. It has different kind of tweaks to it. We did some remixing of it, but it began in 2007. And one of the partners who actually led the way, led the state in this effort. For example, in our first year, we had double-digit increases in 9th and 10th grade promotion just in one school year. And we did the same thing the second year. And Cleveland actually led that effort. So I want to bring forward a good friend who is a regional linkage coordinator in Cleveland, Mr. Arlen Hills, who is going to briefly give us an update of how our partners are doing in this effort in Cleveland. Because we're considered inner ring, first ring suburbs. Who knows why they call us inner ring suburbs or first ring suburban districts? Who knows that? I got something in my wallet for somebody that knows his answer. It's like, wow, I got something in my wallet. Who knows why we are called first ring suburban schools? Yes, sir. Say it loud. Because you're close next to each other. What else? It's in my wallet right now. It's burning a hole in it. Yes, ma'am. You can what?
Yeah, like Cleveland's connected to us.
One more. Okay. Shay was closest. You all have great answers. Ms. Shay will get these coupons from Giant in my wallet. Because your first ring suburban distance because you share the borders of Cleveland. Garfield, Maple, Morrisville, Cleveland Heights shares the borders of the city of Cleveland. Name another suburb that shares the border of Cleveland. Shaker, another suburb that shares the border of Cleveland. Right now, you get the point. Okay, without further ado, a good friend bringing it to us from the great city of Cleveland, CMSD School District, and their CTAC program.
I'm Arlen Hill, linkage coordinator in Cleveland Metropolitan School District with John Marshall High School. And first of all, I'd like to say it's hard for me to see the expansion of this program in the counties. And for you young people, what it says is they care. Somebody cared to have linkage coordinators in your buildings, somebody for you to lean on, somebody for you to talk to, somebody to stay on top of you. That means they care about you. So I want you all to really embrace that and know that. Because if they didn't care, the funding would be here, we wouldn't be here. Somebody cares, okay? So again, it's really encouraging to see this happen. Another thing I noticed in the audience is young ladies. Because as you're going to find in the program in Cleveland, we don't have young ladies in the program. So it's really encouraging to see that some schools or some school districts that are addressing it specifically to make sure that we reach out to our young ladies, okay? So really just, I don't want to take a lot of time because it's going to be redundant, because I heard the linkage coordinators, my colleagues in different districts, they really said a lot of the things that I would say, okay? They talked about the relationship piece, and then that's the key to it. The linkage coordinators and the students having relationships. And I heard the students kind of refer to their relationship with the linkage coordinators. That's the key to it. So at the end of the day, the closing achievement gap basically was brought about, as we talked about it, 06, it's easier again. I wasn't here yet. 07, what happened was, statistics said if young men, particularly African American males, did not passed ninth grade, they were more likely to drop out of high school than anybody else. Okay, so they put an intervention in place called CTAG, Closing the Achievement Gap. So what CTAG is a targeted intervention for a targeted population. At the time, it was for African American males in the ninth grade that met certain criteria. Okay, so I'll tell you how we went about it. First of all, myself, I don't personally subscribe to the thought that it's just African American males because I'm in a free lunch district. So quite frankly, what I've noticed in my school, being at John Marshall, which is a lot more diverse than some of our east side schools, or Rhodes, which is included in our program, Lincoln West, it's a lot more diverse, right? All right, this is not all black folk over here. So I'm going off the poor lunch, free lunch school district model. So I don't care. You meet this criteria that I'm about to describe to you right now, I want to work with you, okay? So what we do is we assess, coming out of the 8th grade, if a student has failed 2 or more core subjects in that last work period of 8th grade, okay, they can participate in the program. If they missed over 36 days of school in the 8th grade, we would like for them to participate in the program. If they're overage, which oftentimes indicate that they failed a grade, we would like for them to participate in the program. And if they also have some issues around behavior where they were suspended 5 more days out of school through the 8th grade year, they can participate in the program. So that's how I developed my cohort. In other words, that's how I developed a group of kids in the 9th grade that I'm going to mentor.
The next gentleman I want to bring forward is someone that's so dear to me that it's hard to even put it in words. There's a saying, who motivates the motivator? Well, in this sense, Coach Ted again motivates Robert Ivory. And it was important for me to invite him to address you, not just on the great things that are taking place at the Academy that have received national recognition of those young men, but what he did for me personally when my daughter in the early 2000s was a student in Glenville High School. He was the linkage coordinator, for lack of a better word, for me, who had my daughter where I may not have had the type of impact. He had that impact where she's a successful nurse and a mother today and doing very well, and I credit a lot of that to having a Coach Ginn in her life. So, Coach Ginn, please.
Just a little bit about the Closing Achievement Gap. Bob Ivory, I don't know if he really told you all where he really came from, and how it all started and began. But in 2007, I opened up the Ginn Academy, and some kind of way Bob got in touch with me about the Closing Achievement Gap that the state of Ohio was doing. And C.J. Prentice was the one that started. So I said, I don't know what that is. So I said, so I got the information from him, and when I saw it, I never looked at it. C.J. Prentice and Bob came out to the school. And I said, well, I'm built just like that. I mean, this is just based on the study. The reason why I want to open up the school. And I'm starting here because I want to encourage you all to let you know who you are. I said, well, CJ asked me, he said, did you read my program? I said, no, I never saw it. I said, this is just things that I know that is needed for young people. And things that didn't happen for me and people before me and people after me. But Bob was running the Closing Achievement Gap. And when he went to the state of Ohio for me and told them, well, we got 150 boys in Ginn Academy that should be in this program. And he said, well, nobody's never graduated. They don't have a graduation rate. But that's not what it's based on. It's based on information. It's based on putting people in position. It's based on exposure. It's based on all that. So, cutting through the chase, Bob got me some funding to take care of with linkage coordinator. But in my school, it was based on youth support staff, which now I call them life coaches, which that's me, reproducing myself through other people to do the things that they do for young people. And that's what this is all about. This is all about information. But Bob, going back, and it's crazy to say, and I have to say this, because Bob and I thought that we could take over the whole state of Ohio with girls and boys in every state in Ohio, because he was running it. And we used to sit down late at night and talk about what kids need and what they don't have and what they don't get. And now I said, Bob, you at the head, let's go. And today to come here and see that we got linkage coordinators in Warrensville, Heights, Garfield Heights, Maple Heights, different places like that, Cleveland Heights. You don't know how important that is to you, and that's everybody in here. You need to give yourself a round of applause.
But these, as they say, it takes a village. Students of Promise, I want you to give your full attention to our village.
Good morning or afternoon, everybody. My name is Eric Alvoer. I'm the founder and CEO of BlackHistoryTours.com. We're based in Miami, Florida. So it's great to be up here in the chilly weather. My relationship with Bob started 9 years ago when CTAG just started. And over the last 9 years, and with Bob moving to San Francisco, we have carried the program forward and continue to add different components to round out the way that our nation was changing their education. So we first started doing a tour that just went to Morehouse. And then after doing the tour that just went to Morehouse, we infused Black history and civil rights and started touring Selma and Birmingham and Jackson and Tuskegee. Then we infused 8 or 9 HBCUs and mainstream programs, and not just did campus tours, but did presentations and interactive activities on the campuses. So I stand before you knowing that many of the students, through Students of Promise, have already graduated college and are coming back now to mentor the Students of Promise of today. Our most exciting news is Bob and I have formed a collaborative relationship with the Department of Defense and U.S. Army for STEM education. So we are now doing STEM immersion HBCU STEM college tours, which infuse the college readiness experience after the Students of Promise lessons that you learn here. Then we go out on the road and we learn about biodiversity and bioengineering and biogenetics and all forms of STEM education. So you could be an astronaut or you could go to the military in a civilian position and be an engineer.
2 years after they started the program in CMSD, Project Love went down to Columbus and met with C.J. Prentice because there was a really big issue happening in CMSD, and the principals were saying, what about our girls? So Project Love put together a program called Believe to Achieve for the minority at-risk girls in 2 Cleveland schools, Collinwood High School and John Adams. From that program, we learned and developed a lot of soft skills that employers are looking for and colleges are looking for in their students. So we're partnering with Closing the Achievement Gap Students of Promise starting next year to bring our workforce value training to this program, where anybody who wants to be paired with a mentor in the workforce will have the opportunity. You'll get to go on field trips to different corporations, have internships there. So we're really excited. Thank you and keep up the good work.
My name is Edward Banks. You all also hear me referred to as DJ Fatty Banks. I'm the Executive Director of Reading RAM. RAM stands for Recording Arts, Music, and Media. We reinforce statewide curriculum with multimedia We use project-based learning as the engine and multimedia as the fuel, so to speak. Over the years, one of my first contracts ever with a school district was through CTAG with Kennedy and East High School when it first started. So this is our 10th year. Over the course of the years, we started embedding social emotional learning in every project.
I am Pamela Hubbard. This is my son.
Anthony Hubbard.
We are Golden Disciples, Inspirational Whispers of Change. And what we do is we're glad to be here again. We've been with, I started to say CTAG. We do CTAG too, but Closing the Achievement Gap. That is Students of Promise. I'm trying to go fast because I talk long. Students of Promise since the inception. What we do is rites of passage.
My name is Marquis Foster. I'm actually here on behalf of Big Brothers Big Sisters. And what we do here at Big Brothers Big Sisters, we partner with the Students of Promise program at Warrensville. And so our students in Warrensville, who everyone here pours into and continues to build up, we give them an opportunity to actually build up the middle school students. So they're actually mentoring the middle school students in the way that we're doing for them.
Good afternoon, I'm Yolanda Armstrong, President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Cleveland. It is an honor and a privilege to be here. I wanted Marquis to go first because what he is doing right now is taking a vision that I had, put it on paper, and then he is actually acting it out by making sure that you all are mentoring each other. The reason why I say that is because Bob Ivory and I grew up together, we came through Upper Bound together, and who would have thought years later that we wanted to come back to Cleveland and commit our lives to giving young people like yourselves an opportunity. We both have sat in the seats that you're sitting in at a different place and at a different time. And so we know what it's like to have someone to come into our lives to mentor and inspire us to do our very best when people didn't even think we could do it. And so here now as adults, we're coming back and we want to support each and every one of you. So this is a blessing for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Cleveland to have this opportunity for our first year working with the Warrensville Heights School District, but we're not done because we do have every intention in working with Cleveland Heights, Garfield Heights, and also with Maple Heights. So God willing, we'll make sure that this happens. Mentoring is important, inspiring and motivating. You guys are awesome.
Ohio Guidestone brings that social emotional piece throughout the weeks. I think it's 4. I think we go 4 weeks and we visit each school. So we've been at each school. We started at Maple Heights with Mr. Green, and we escalated to Cleveland Heights and Garfield Heights and Warrensville. Each day out of the week, we have a day of project. That project is social emotional learning activities that engage the students from the standpoint of them understanding themselves, being able to express themselves, but bringing a level of self-determination to where they can understand how to attack their own problem, because we can help change them, but they're going to change themselves. And that's what we have to understand. We are the motivation, we are the push, if you will, but they will change themselves through what we provide. And so from Ohio Guidestone standpoint, we come in with art therapy activities, we come in with different types of games that combine, camaraderie. To finish this certain game, you have to use one another. There's no way you can finish it by yourself. And so that brings about a teamwork element.
Everybody say, yeah. Say, oh yeah, I feel good, just like I should. My name is Akil Marshall. I've been doing schoolwork for 20 years. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I started off on 40th and Quincy. There were people who didn't think I could do this, that, or the other. But when you start believing in yourself, you can do all things. And you have a power right now where you sit. The mere fact that you're here, that you can achieve whatever you wish. But you gotta listen. And you have to develop the ability to want it. My program is called Winning in America. It's curriculum I developed from pre-K to the 12th grade. Because in America, it's about being competitive and productive every day. So when we do our program, we're not trying to be friends. We're trying to help people to be leaders and to awaken the genius. So we work at teaching people how to sit in their royalty, walk in their royalty, stand in their royalty. The same way that football players, basketball players, but that have the right stance in order to play the game the right way. And once you start doing that, and you handle the English language, because you have to have it in order to win. Once you understand that you got to stop sagging, you can't be sagging. They don't sag on basketball courts. Football, they have to have the dress code in order to participate in the winning process. When you start understanding that, and you open yourself up to win, it's the best feeling in the world. Winning is wonderful. Somebody should say, yeah, yeah.
And we are so proud, so privileged, so blessed to have a councilman, someone that leads this charge, and is at, Ms. Evening said, he's at the table. And in fact, he is at the table sometimes when you're asleep, making things happen in this community. So give it up for Councilman.
But I just wanted to take a moment and share with you a little bit of how we got here and what my thoughts are. I'm an elected official, council vice president of the county government, a legislator. And what does that mean? What does all that mean? When I first took office, I was going door to door, knocking on doors, talking to residents. And I was in Outway public housing, knocking on doors, and two young ladies were standing outside of their apartment. And as I was sharing with them all the things I wanted to do, they stopped me and said, Councilman, what is it that you people do? And I had to slow down from all my canned speech and just say, well, a councilman is a legislator. He makes laws, okay? And making laws, it's like bowling. How many of you have been bowling? Not too many, everybody? Just seen bowling. And you know how bowling works. Bowling has two gutters and the lane in between. Making laws is like the gutters. They tell you where you're supposed to be or where you're not supposed to be. The gutter says you're not supposed to be in the gutter. But the lanes also imply that there's a lane for you to operate in between those gutters. And that's what we're doing when we're making laws. We're giving you a lane to operate in. When I brought forth the legislation to create closing the achievement gap, I was trying to provide a lane for you to operate in. To provide funding, people shouldn't just be volunteering to do what the important work that's being done. Bob Ivory needs to be able to make a living. He needs to be able to feed his family. All of the linkage coordinators, Ted Ginn and all of these others, everyone that's involved, they're doing good work. And you are doing excellent work. I'm so proud of each and every one of you as I traveled with you to Atlanta last year and keeping up with what you're doing. I encourage you to stay out of the gutter. Because in there is gutter thinking and gutter action. When you're bowling, the goal is not to throw the ball in the gutter. The goal is to knock down the pins, to get a score. It's to work with your teammates so your team wins. Garfield, Maple, Cleveland Heights, Warrensville Heights, and all those connected. It's about winning. It's about growing and doing better. And that's what each and every one of you are doing.
Raised in Cleveland, Ohio by a family of non-traditional artists, Van Taylor Monroe, creative spirit was nurtured at an early age as he was encouraged to celebrate his self-expression through art. Later, he attended Miami University in Ohio as a graphic design major and quickly combined his business savvy with his creative talents. Since graduation, Monroe has become a well-known talent and paints in traditional canvas, photography, digital art, film, murals, and customized stickers. Van's artwork was nationally recognized and added to the Smithsonian Museum's collection and also featured in the Manifest Hope Gallery.
I want to first thank everybody. I want to thank students and promise for having me here. I really wish you guys were around when I was in high school. I went to school in Euclid in the 90s, so it was a little bit before your time. How many people here know we all have gifts? We all have a purpose. Just a few people up here. I know you guys are in line. How many people know what their gift is? That's another question, right? How many people are actively seeking to find that gift within themselves? A lot more people? Okay. At the age of two, I knew what my gift was. All right? I used to draw these bubble crosses And I used to say, pain, pain, pain. And I put it on the tables, I put it on the walls. And no one knew what I was talking about until I was outside one day. And an airplane flew over our head. And me and my mother looked up, and I started screaming, pain, pain, pain. And she looked up, and she saw that bubble cross that I've been drawing for the past 3 months. And she said, my 2-year-old is drawing airplanes. And you would think, if you knew at the age of 2, your purpose or your gift, that you would be able to just walk through life and follow that purpose without being deterred by naysayers, right? But everybody told me growing up that I could not become a successful artist. They said, you know what, it's a thing called starving artists. And you don't want to be that. They looked at me and they said, you know, you're a nice sized kid, good athletic ability. Why don't you focus on sports? Because that's how you're going to make it out. Focusing on sports. And guess what I did? I focused on sports. Now let me tell you something. It's nothing wrong with having an interest in sports. The problem is, when you make sports your destination and not your vehicle. You hear me say that again. When you make sports your destination and not your vehicle, then you have a problem. So I went to Euclid High School. All right? I went there and I played quarterback, I played defensive back. So I was set on the NFL. I also did art on the side. I won the gold and silver key from the Cleveland Institute of Art. One contest, won the gold and the silver. Still didn't think anything of it. I can't make it as an artist. I can only make it as an NFL player. I got a scholarship to go to Miami, Ohio. Play football there. I went there with the quarterback who plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, Ben Roethlisberger. We came in the same year. I only played 3 years before my body gave out on me. I had surgeries on my left arm and my right arm. And my career was over. Just like that. As soon as it started, it was over. So now I can figure out what I'm going to do with myself. I'm going to go ahead and get a degree, I'm going to graduate. Well, what about that art thing? Well, 2003, I'm sitting in my dorm room. A teammate comes to me with a pair of old beat-up tennis shoes. He said, man, I know you airbrush t-shirts and you do art. Can you make these shoes black, all black, so I can wear them a few times around campus? I see some of you with some fly kicks on. You can't do that in college, all right? You got to spend money on books and things like that. So instead of buying a new pair of tennis shoes, he had me refurbish his old pair of sneakers. And that was the first time I seen someone paint on shoes. Has anybody ever seen anybody customize shoes? A few people? It's 2016. Imagine 2003. And so, around campus, I was the guy that would refurbish your old tennis shoes for $30. Bring me the old beat up snubby shoes, $30, and I'll put a fresh coat of paint on it for you. I still didn't think anything of it. I mean, what can you do with painting on shoes, right? So I got a degree in psychology. I left and thought I had to go into the corporate world to be successful. And I did. And I was job hopping. I was going to different jobs, chasing money. Going to different jobs that my friends were working at because they were successful there. I was not focused on what made me special. And so I was down in Cincinnati working in the year 2007 when I finally decided that I was going to pursue my true gift, my purpose as an artist. And I would love to tell you that as soon as I decided that I stepped on faith, that everything fell into my lap and I made money and I made all these shoes and stuff for all these celebrities, and that's not what happened. I faced a little thing called adversity. Anybody know what adversity is? Obstacles. Things that were put in my way. Put in my way not to make me quit, but to make me stronger. So 2007, 2008, I went absolutely broke. Chasing my purpose. Chasing my dream, my gift. January 2008, I showed up to my apartment and I had an eviction notice on my door. Chasing that purpose, chasing that dream. But I didn't stop. You know why I didn't stop? Because I have 3 younger brothers. I have 16 younger cousins. And they all looked up to me. And I knew that if I stopped chasing my purpose, one or two things would happen. Either they would be too afraid to even search for theirs, or they would search for theirs, and when it got tough, they would stop because of abandonment. So I said I had to keep going. I don't care how long it's going to take. I'm going to be an inspirational artist of my generation and a success story. 2008, January, I was also inspired by a senator running for president from Chicago with a funny name, Barack Obama. And at that time, you guys may be a little too young, but no one really thought he had a chance to win. But I was so inspired by just having an ambition to be president, a black man being president. And so I would listen to his speeches at night. And I won't lie to you, there was some nights where I cried myself to sleep because I was going to the grocery store with $8 in my pocket that had to last a whole week. Still on this purpose. I know it's going to work out one day. Pushing through, pushing through. So I was 1 week away from being kicked out of my place. And I ended up painting 9 pairs of tennis shoes for a company in Cincinnati, paid off my eviction notice. And that night I went to sleep after paying off my eviction notice was the first night I actually got rest. This shoe came. 3 a.m. in the morning, I woke up. I had a new pair of Air Force Ones in my closet. I painted this shoe exactly how you see it on the screen. And I posted it on MySpace. That's what we had back then. MySpace. And I want to tell you, this shoe went viral before we knew what viral was. Before I knew it, it was on BET.com. It was on all types of blogs. It was on Gossip.com. It was on everything you can think of. It was on Republican blogs. It was on Democrat blogs. People were making up these stories about me that wasn't even true. And I would sit at my computer and I would stay there all night and I would read it and I would just be happy because the people didn't know who I was the day before. The first big thing that happened was the Smithsonian Museum contacted me, the largest museum in the world. The Smithsonian said, we want that shoe. We like the way that it's created. We want that shoe. And I sat at my computer, I read that email, and I cried like a baby. Because I almost gave up. I almost said, you know what, this isn't worth it. And now at 25 years old, I had the first customized shoe in the largest museum in the world.